Good morning. So we are winging our way through journal number 4, and we're in 1997, somewhere around February. Here's a note: if you're going to start journaling or do journaling, one of the things that I wish I had done, and I do it now, is every day when I journal, I start with where I am and the date and the time that I'm doing this, so I can have a frame of reference. I wasn't time stamping all of these things every single day as I'm doing it. So I have to surmise when the time was. But here's what I'm seeing is going through my my mind as I'm working, getting established in Florida now. This is about a month or so into moving to Florida. And I'm struck by how much of the things, what hasn't changed in these 30 years that we're talking about now. That, I look at it that everything, I was still spending a lot of time trying to get this frame of what does my day look like. And I think that I've really seen it more and more, that the more that I lean into being Dean Jackson professionally, that is really set up on what does your day look like and what are the actual things that you're doing. Like, what hasn't changed since 1997 is that we still move at 60 minutes per hour. There's still a morning and an evening and sleep and all of those. The structure of the day has not changed, and it will not change for the next 30 years. So the real thing is to figure out the day that you really want for yourself. What are the activities? And I looked at, what would I like to do on a daily basis? And I was putting in here, I want to read and study and play golf and scheme and talk on the phone. That was the things, that the mechanical activities that I wanted to do. And when I look at it now, it's the same kind of thing. I want to read and I want to write and I want to be on small Zoom groups or being one-on-one with people with Zoom. And I want to just develop my projects, make art, really is what it is. I laugh because I don't know if you guys ever follow DJ Khaled on Instagram or on Snapchat, but there's a guy who's like just living his best life. It's fun to watch. You should just watch it from the thing. But his whole thing when he gets on the things, it's golf and studio. That's the two things that are the frame of his day: playing golf and being in the studio. And so I look at it that the activities come down to how long and how much of something do you want to do. And I think that this sweet spot of doing whatever your core unique ability is 2 or 3 hours a day, period. That's the, I think you can be world class at anything with a 2 to 3 hour focus on it. When I was playing tennis, that's exactly what we were doing. We'd go to school in the morning, and then all the afternoon was about playing tennis and working out and stretching. But playing tennis for 2 or 3 hours a day was the core. And you see these clues everywhere. Stephen King, in his book on writing, talks about that he writes for, basically 3 hours a day. And there's, I think, a real joy if you can find that day for you and find that activity for you. Josh and I watched the Jiro Dreams of Sushi movie the other night. It's about the third or fourth time that I've seen the movie, but it's about this Japanese gentleman that owns a sushi restaurant in a little subway station in Japan that is a 3-star Michelin restaurant. It's packed. They're booked out months in advance, 10 seats at the counter, and it starts at $300 for the dinner experience. And I think they do a lunch and a dinner every day, and it's booked months out. But the movie shows his dedication to the single craft of making sushi and making better sushi and innovating with sushi. And he would tell how sometimes he would wake up and he had been dreaming about sushi. And, you know, what an amazing life. He's 85 years old, by the way, when they were shooting the movie. And, you know, that's all he's been doing. And he lives this, you know, that's his bliss, his joyful thing. And I think that I'm starting to really see these things, and everything that I've done, everything I see it now, the seeds that were planted here. I really knew who I was in 1997, and it took a little while to get to where I'm weeding out everything that isn't these things. And I started, you know, in 1997, I had just moved to Florida. And it was just me. So I didn't have my whole support team. Like right now, it takes a village to run this, to raise my ADHD entrepreneur life. But now I have the full support team. Everything administratively is done. Everything financially is done. All of my house, everything is maintained and done by other people. I'm really leaning to the point where I truly just do the scheming, and then I have a whole support team with designer, we have web people, we have people who work with our clients. It's so amazing as I'm looking through this to see how close I was to what I really wanted at the core. And so if you're starting to journal, I think really spending the time to explore that and get to the place of really understanding, what do I want? That's the most important thing you could do, because you can do anything. You can have anything that you can imagine. That's part of the joy of being an entrepreneur. You're self-directed. You get to choose what it is that you want to focus on, what you want your life to be like, and how, more importantly, you're going to contribute in the world. I get the most joy out of seeing people's lives change by having an engine that fuels all of the business that they need to maintain their growth in their business. One of the greatest moments ever in my life is this lady came up to me at an event, gave me a big hug, and she'd been a client for a long time, and her daughter had just graduated college, and she had been with us for 10 years as a client, a realtor, client. And she gave me the most sincere hug, that for her to get her child raised and through college and not have any student loan debt or any of that things, it was only possible because she had an engine that fueled her real estate business. So she had excess capital to be able to do all the things that she wanted in her life. And I thought, man, that is like a huge reward, way more than the money, is seeing the contribution that I was able to make there. And so that's a little philosophical, but I think the structure for you of figuring out, what do I want my days to look like, and then just chip away everything that isn't that. That's a great place to start. I got a funny email the other day from Rick. It says, Dean, question. Are you saying you can teach me to make fat stacks by hanging out at a pub, drinking coffee like you? And I laughed to myself because I was thinking, yes, I can do that. That's what I do. Is the funny thing, what I really realized is that every idea that I've had, Every dollar that I've made over the last 30 years has gone through my brain, through my pen, onto a piece of paper in my journal before it went out into the real world. And if I can turn people onto that activity as a driver for what to do, what to think about, what to ask yourself to draw out, what the next most valuable action is for you, and how to find the most profitable things that you can install in your business, I'm all for it. So this Friday at 1 p.m., I'm going to do, for the first time, a 50-minute profit finder workshop. And you're going to join me live on Zoom, and we're going to go through a 50-minute exercise. Bring your pen, bring a notebook or piece of paper, and I'm going to guide you through a thinking process that will help you identify where the lowest hanging fruit is in your business, and maybe some fruit that you didn't even know was there, but I'm going to show you where to look for it. So it's free. It's for you. It's Friday at 1 p.m. this Friday. Just watch. Go to, what did we call the website, Josh?
50-minute profit finder.
Just go to 50minuteprofitfinder.com and I'll get you all the details, and hopefully you can join us then Friday, 1 p.m.